Right. Now then. I believe we've got someone else we need to speak to about their locks, eh? Oh, Pearl. Look at that. They really did make a fire right in front of the shack.
Oh, Mr. Nick! Huh, you're too late, Nick. If you came back here for one of our potatoes, we've already polished them all off.
I think I pretty much got all the evidence I need. Now I just need to find out what Pearl is hiding. After dinner on the night of the murder, you were supposed to be in Elise Doonim's room reading a book together, correct?
Yes, I was so happy when she invited me. But I didn't go in the end.
You didn't go?
No, there was somewhere else I had to go instead. I was so worried I had to go. I didn't know what to do with myself. I was so nervous.
So Pearl never went to Miss Doonim's room. She was too worried about something or someone else. Pearls? On the night of the murder, you went to this place, didn't you? You went here, didn't you, Pearls? Looks like she's still not going to open up to me. This is where you went because you were so worried, right? The next question is, who or what were you so worried about? I'm going to take a guess, and you can tell me if I'm right or wrong, okay?
You mean you know?
If I'm right, you'll tell me the whole truth.
Okay.
You went to this place for one simple reason. It's obvious what you were so worried about, Pearls. It was Maya, wasn't it? You knew the training Maya was undertaking was dangerous. After that, it was a special course. After all, it was a special course. I signed up for your special course.
My, what brave you are considering how cold it is. Young people can be so reckless with their health. Don't blame me if you become one with those you channel.
Sister Bikini scared you with what she said, didn't she? And because it was you who introduced Hezakura Temple to Maya in the first place, you felt responsible, didn't you?
Thinking about what could happen to Mystic Maya made me more and more worried. I couldn't sit still at all. That's why I decided to go find out how she was doing at the inner temple.
Then we're clear now you went to the inner temple that night, Pearls. What's not clear is what happened after that. About what time was you headed over to the inner temple?
Probably around 9:30 when I left the main hall. I heard the real training was supposed to start at 10. I wanted to get there before it started, but there was so much snow I didn't get there until after 10 o'clock.
Until after 10? How do you know what time it was?
Because I heard the bell ring for lights out.
She heard the lights out bell? The Hezakura Temple's bell is pretty small though, isn't it? You must have really good hearing.
I was really trying to pick up the sound of the bell, that's all. I didn't want to miss it, that would be terrible.
She was trying to hear the bell. Tell me, Pearls, Why are you so worried about hearing that bell? I think I know why. The reason you were so worried about the bell is because of this. What the fuck? This has come out of fucking nowhere. It's got to be the weather, right? Oh, fuck! Oh, no, wait, the music has stopped.
You know, Mr. Nick, I think you should take a break.
Fuck! Why'd you stop the music then, you bastard? Huh?
Even your hairstyle, you look a bit tired. The spikes aren't looking so sharp.
Looks like picking this piece of evidence wasn't so sharp of me either. Great, now I'm down to one fucking hit. Nope, not that. Right, let's try again, shall we? It's not Maya again, is it? No. No, that's definitely something for later, though. Now I think I'm going to have to bite the bullet and look this one up. You were given some instructions to follow for that night, weren't you? I presume you recognise these pieces of paper?
Where did you...
In the incinerator at the inner temple. Pearls, you were following the instructions in this letter that night, weren't you? That's why you couldn't afford to miss the sound of the lights out bell.
I'm speechless, Mr. Nick. You're amazing.
These instructions that were found at the incinerator, I believe they were written for you, Pearls.
For me? No.
As you can see, a large portion's been burnt, but the last section's still fairly legible. As soon as you hear the lights out bell, you must channel her spirit. Who was it, Pearl? Whose spirit were you supposed to be channeling? Taking into account the author of the note and their purpose for writing it, whose spirit would Pearls be trying to channel? Don't overthink it, Phoenix. It's pretty obvious who Pearls are supposed to channel. The person you were trying to channel that night, Pearls, was... who the fuck? Dahlia, right? Yes. It was Dahlia Hawthorne, wasn't it? That was the name that was in the letter. Just as I suspected. It wasn't Iris whose sister Bikini met at the inner temple that night. It was Dahlia Hawthorne. Do you know anything about her, Pearls? Do you know what kind of woman Dahlia Hawthorne was?
No. I never heard of anyone by that name before reading those instructions.
I thought so. Pearls doesn't have a clue. She doesn't know Dahlia is her sister. About the instructions in the letter I found, Pearls. Who wrote them? Whoever it was asked you to channel the spirit of someone you never heard of. You must have quite a lot of respect for them. After all, you followed the instructions without question. So here's my next question. Who wrote this set of instructions for you to follow? Really? You must have had a lot of faith in them to follow their instructions to a T.
I had a lot of faith in you, Mr. Nick.
Oh, thanks.
But I don't think I can trust you anymore.
Shit. You know, my first instinct was Iris, but then it did the whole... you have all this respect for them, and... it came out of nowhere. Wait, it's not Morgan, is it? I knew it. Why else would she be added to the court record? Pearls, I have to wonder about something. You didn't have any idea what the instructions meant, did you? But you followed them to the letter regardless. Why? Because it was your own mother who asked you, that's why.
How did you?
I figured it out. The person who wrote you this letter was your own mother, Morgan Fay. Alright, Pearls, it's time you started telling me the truth.
Mr. Nick,
Why is she holding back from me? I don't like this.
Don't underestimate me just because I'm a child.
Huh?
If you're trying to say I followed these instructions, I'd like to see some proof.
What?
Because I don't think you have any.
She'd say anything rather than admit to carrying out those instructions. I'll have to produce some more evidence then. One more thing should do it. Alright, Pearls. We both know someone carried out these instructions on the night of the murder. But you're right. There's no evidence that proves it was you.
I know it.
However, I do know whoever did it was a child.
How do you know that?
It couldn't have been an adult. No adult would have made a simple mistake like this.
Simple mistake? What do you mean by that?
I'm sure you thought you were carefully following the instructions you'd been given, but you misunderstood some of the words, and this is the evidence that proves it. Let's have a look. As soon as you hear the lights out bell, you must channel her spirit, leave everything up to her. This is a picture of her. Use it when you channel her. I know you can do it. Gravely roast the Oh! It was you who splattered gravy on this hanging scroll, wasn't it?
Why would I do something like that?
Do you remember what was written in the letter? Gravely roast the master in the fires of Hades and bring our vengeance to fruition. But you didn't know how to read the words gravely and roast, among others, right?
How do you know that?
Remember the conversation you had with Ms. Doonim on the night of the murder?
Perhaps we can read some books together. Really? I'd love to. I'm not very good at reading. Well then, would you like to practice reading with me? Miss Elise, for example, how do you read this? It says gravely. That's kind of a tough word.
Sure, Ms. Doonim taught you how to read gravely and roast, but what she didn't teach you is what they meant. Gravely sounded like
Gravely sounded like gravy to me, and the only roast I could think of was the food.
That's why you did it. That's why you covered the picture of the master in gravy from that night's pot roast.
To be honest, I did think it was a bit strange. I guess I really did get the wrong idea.
Just a tiny bit.
I really am useless. I couldn't even burn the letter properly as my mother had asked of me. Such a simple thing and I couldn't do it right.
Oh, Pearl.
After dinner that night, I did go to the inner temple with a pot full of the leftover gravy.
The gravy?
I saw the picture of the hanging scroll near the sacred cavern. I was sure it was the master of the Quran like it said in the letter.
I see. And then?
It was already way past 10 when I got there because of all the snow. I went to the inner temple guest area.
The guest area?
Yes, I thought I could wait there until the training was over.
Why didn't you just go in the training hall?
Because Mystic Maya's main training had already started and I couldn't interrupt. So I just stayed where I was and prayed for her to get through it. But then,
Pearl, did you fall asleep?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, I just couldn't help it.
Hey, don't worry about it, Pearl. Who cares if you fell asleep? I fall asleep waiting for Iris too. It happens. Anyway, you found yourself trapped at the inner temple?
Yes, when I woke up it was morning. I tried not to cry, but Dusky Bridge wasn't there anymore and there was no one in the training hall. I thought everyone had left me because I overslept. I threw the letter in the incinerator and heated the leftover gravy
And let off some steam by chucking the gravy on the scroll while you cried? It must have been pretty scary for you, Pearl. I know what it's like. Nick used to leave me behind when I fell asleep at school too. Don't equate something so trivial with her experience, Larry.
It was written right in my mother's letter. It said as soon as you hear the lights out, Belle, you must channel her spirit. I was on my way over to the inner temple when I heard the bell ring.
So you channeled Dahlia Hawthorne's spirit?
No. I tried, but I couldn't do it.
You couldn't do it?
I never failed at channeling someone. This is the first time it's happened. I tried and I tried and I tried. Yesterday, this morning, the whole time. But I just couldn't do it.
that. Don't let it get you down, Pearl. It'll all work out. If you want, I'll come flying through the sky for you. Oof, just like that. So she never managed to channel the spirit. Is that why you think your spiritual powers are gone?
Yes, I don't know what to do.
Is there any other explanation for why you couldn't channel the spirit?
I suppose there's one other possibility. It's not very likely, though.
Can you please tell me what it is anyway?
It could happen if someone else was already channeling the same spirit.
Someone else? What do you mean?
There's only one of each spirit, right?
Yeah, like dating a girl, Nick. You can't see a hot chick if she's already taken. And that would mean on the night of the murder, someone else channeled the spirit before Pearls could. Someone else channeled the spirit of Dahlia Hawthorne.
I'm a failure. I couldn't even grant my mother's final wish.
Her final wish?
Yes, this letter. This is my last wish, she said. So make sure you follow the instructions carefully.
This letter. I definitely need to find out more about it.
My mother's gone to a place called a penitentiary.
Yeah, I know, Pearls.
I visit her every month. And last month she told me.
The time we've been waiting for has come, Pearl. There's something I need you to do for me. I hid a letter for you at our home before they brought me here. I want you to read it and do exactly as it says. It's for the good of the Fae clan, my angel. You'll be doing a great thing. Now listen carefully and I'll tell you where the letter's hidden.
My mother's always nice to me. I love her very much.
Yeah, mums will do anything for their kids, right? Yeah.
She said it was for the good of the Fae clan, so I knew I had to help her. I mean, Mystic Maya's part of the Fae clan, so it has to be good for her too. That's right, isn't it, Mr. Nick?
I guess so, yeah.
There was a picture of her letter too.
A picture?
Of Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. Usually a picture's enough to channel someone's spirit, but this time...
Pretty weird, huh? Like Larry knows anything about this stuff.
There's something else that was strange about my mother's letter. The seal on it was broken as if someone had already opened it once before.
That sure is pretty strange. Someone had opened it already? Thanks, Pearls. You really helped me out.
You're very welcome. My mother's watching over it, so I'm sure Mystic Maya will be alright.
Look at the innocent smile on her face. What am I supposed to say to her? Finally figured it out, have you, Trite? You finally realised how terrible of a crime being painfully oblivious is? Godo? The entrance to the sacred cavern looks like a friggin' puzzle workshop. Guess he's talking about Iris and the lock-breaking effort. But it's all a waste of time. Why do you say that? Because Maya Fey isn't coming back. What? You don't know what you're talking about. How can you say something like that? It was your job to protect her, Trite. Just like it was your job to protect Mia Fey. Two sisters caught up in the worst circumstances. I realise that, but... And you were the only one who was by their sides. You were the only one who could have saved them. I didn't know anything about what was going on. Huh. What did I just say, Trite? Being oblivious is a heinous crime in itself. Tomorrow. We'll settle everything in court tomorrow, once and for all.
Mr. Nick? Is what that man just said true?
It'll be alright, Pearls. I'm sure Maya's alive. You'll see for yourself tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right. I know I can trust you, Mr. Nick.
My dear Pearl, you've done so well, my child, my Pearl. It's better you don't know what you've done. I knew this day would come for you. The blood of the main family is no more. Now finally, after all this time, the Master's seat is yours. My last great wish. It seems I was just in time.
Good morning. Oh, are you by yourself?
Morning, Pearls.
Mr. Nick, please tell me what's happened to Mystic Maya.
I'm sorry, we don't know yet. The investigation is still going on, so I wasn't allowed in the inner temple.
I see. Is Sister Iris still trying to remove the trick locks in the training hall?
No, she's a defendant in this case. She can't be at the inner temple. She's required to be here in court. Why not just have her testify over radio, Phoenix?
Then how come she's not in the defendant's lobby?
I have to admit, it's kind of strange. If you're looking for Iris, she's in the prosecutor's lobby. Oh, that's Edgeworth. Okay. Edgeworth? What's Iris doing over there? She's going over today's testimony with the prosecutor as we speak. Today's testimony? You heard me. Iris is going to be testifying as a witness for the prosecution. Wait, what? The prosecutor is squeezing her for a confession, or so I heard. Franziska von Karma, what are you up to? I know what you're thinking, but Franziska isn't going to be the prosecutor today. Godo. What? Then who is? Who else would it be? Godo. Godo. Franziska is engaged with some important work at the Sacred Cavern.
The Sacred Cavern? You don't mean she's...
Exactly. She's been out there all night trying to remove those trick locks. With the head nun's assistance, naturally. We estimate the last of the locks should be taken care of in about 3 hours. I hope everything continues to go smoothly as we receive some good news soon. Yeah, thanks, Edgeworth. Prosecutor Godo intends to nail this case shut today. Be prepared for a fight like there's no tomorrow. You don't have to tell me that. Touché. I can already see it in your eyes. You're not the same fever-ridden, frantic maniac you were yesterday. It's strange. On the way here, I decided today would be the end of all this. Almost immediately after I made that decision, I felt myself getting stronger. Interesting. Maybe you passed your cold on to someone else, literally. And with that, I leave the rest in your capable hands, partner. Thanks. I still don't have answers to most of the riddles plaguing this case. The circumstances around the murder of Ms. Elise Doonim. No, Ms. Misty Fay. The impossible flight Larry claims to have seen. And what that woman is really after. I will solve them all and bring this whole tragedy to an end.
Court is now in session for the trial of Iris of Hazakura Temple.
Your Honor? What are you...
Who, me? Well, my little brother came to visit me in the chambers earlier this morning. All of a sudden, in the blink of an eye, he developed a scorching fever and fainted. Therefore, I'll be standing in for him.
I see, Your Honor. So they're brothers. That explains a lot.
My poor brother looked a bit pale, not to mention sad he couldn't be here.
Not to be mean, but I'm glad I don't have to attempt that horrible Canadian accent again.
It's impossible to predict what the future has in store for any of us. This is precisely why people feel the need to judge the past. And we of the court have been charged with the solemn duty of passing such judgment. Well said, Mr. Godo. I understood exactly what you said, at least up until the end anyway. Now then, Mr. Godo, please proceed with your opening statement.
Humans are fragile, fickle beings. Our hearts change with the shifting of the tides. There's only one thing that remains a constant in this crazy world. Coffee?
The bitter darkness that lies at the bottom of this mug.
Yep.
So you mean... Oh, forget it. What do you mean? During yesterday's trial, the accused refused to admit her role in the crime. But today, she's had a change of heart. Sister Iris of Hazakura Temple has a confession to make. Confession? The defendant?
Iris? Why didn't you discuss this with me first?
Very well. This court will now hear the defendant's confession. Upon meeting a beautiful lady, always ask for her name and profession. That's one of my rules.
My name is Iris. I'm but a simple nun undergoing training at Hazakura Temple.
Witness, is there something you want to confess to?
Yes, but first I want to apologize to Mr. Rat. I can't continue lying to everyone anymore.
It's alright. What is it?
Mr. Rat, I have to admit that I did play a part in this terrible incident.
Are you actually confessing? Are you saying you were the one who murdered Miss Elise Dunim?
No, I'm not, Your Honor. But I dealt with a cover-up after the murder took place. After her spirit left, I took the lifeless shell of Mr. Khalees and carried it to the Hazakura Temple courtyard where I desecrated it.
What? Order in the court! Order! Witness, are you saying you were an accomplice to the murder?
Yes, that's correct.
What? 3 minutes in court and I'm already covered in a cold sweat.
Everyone on the planet is an accomplice to something. It just happens to be, in this case, it's the murder. Isn't that right, Mr. Trite?
Oh, that Godo. So this is the confession they were conferring about. It pains me to say this, but it looks like Iris' testimony was all a lie.
Now then, little lady, if you don't mind, I've got a question for you. Whose crime are you trying to cover up by your actions?
Iris was covering for someone. Oh, now I'm definitely up creek about a paddle or a life jacket.
I've been at Hazakura Temple ever since I was a little girl. Hazakura Temple is run by one of the branch families of the Korean tradition. One of our missions is to protect the main family.
Sorry, but main family?
Yes, and that's why I would dirty myself if need be to protect her. The daughter of the master of the Korean channeling technique, Mystic Ma Fei.
Huh?
Wake up and smell the coffee, trite.
She's naming Maya?
Order in the court! So not only did you witness the murder, you know the name of the murderer?
I'm terribly sorry, but it's true. I saw her commit the crime with my very own eyes. And then I cleaned up the area to try and protect her.
That's ridiculous. Maya could never do such a...
The defense will refrain from commenting until the appropriate time. Now, witness, let's hear your testimony. What exactly happened on the night of the crime?
Yes, Your Honor.
I thought I was prepared for the unexpected, but I never imagined the case would wind up going in this direction.
I went to the inner temple that night and saw it all happen in the garden. I saw Mystic Elise strike Mystic Ma with her staff. While Mystic Ma was still stumbling, Mystic Elise moved in to deliver a fatal strike. Mystic Ma tried desperately to defend herself and stole the weapon. It was only in self-defense. You can't blame her for that.
So it was in self-defense?
Yeah, Mystic Elise was the one who attacked first. That's why I tried my best to protect Mystic Ma.
You moved the victim's body to the temple so Maya wouldn't be suspected. Isn't that right? Not bad. You've got the instincts of a true criminal.
Something's not right. I'm sure it was established yesterday that Iris never went to the inner temple that night. That the person who did go was that woman. Iris even admitted it.
Now then, Mr. Wright.
Oh, here we fucking go.
Please proceed with your cross-examination.
Sister Iris, your testimony's changed quite a bit since yesterday. You stated yesterday on the night of the murder you didn't go to the inner temple.
Objection!
That was predictable.
Did she now? Too bad for you that what she said yesterday doesn't mean much today. By the way, where were you when she claimed she didn't go?
I was in the inner temple's training hall. Oh, it was in the inner temple's training hall.
A private conversation between the two of you does not constitute testimony. That would be properly described as hearsay. What do you have to say, witness?
I just couldn't tell him the truth at the time. Mystic Ma, she's your girlfriend, isn't she? I didn't want to be the one to break it to you, and I had to saw her commit murder.
There, we all understand how difficult this is for you. Now then, let's continue with the testimony. What did you witness in the temple garden?
Well, Your Honor, I saw Mystic Elise strike Mystic Ma with her staff.
You're saying the victim attacked Maya? Miss Fey?
Yeah, it was a truly frightening scene. Mystic Ma was struck hard in the head, and it looked like she was going to collapse.
What were you doing at the time? Why didn't you stop them fighting?
I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Rat. I was frightened. I couldn't move. I couldn't even speak. I was in such shock.
That's perfectly understandable, my dear.
That doesn't sound right. I don't believe this testimony for a minute.
What happened after that?
She moved to deliver a fatal strike.
Yeah, I'm sure of it. She threw down her staff and reached into her robe for a weapon.
Wait a minute. What was this weapon?
It was some kind of dagger.
A dagger, huh? And Elise Dunim tried to stab her with this weapon? To kill Miss Fay?
Yes, exactly.
Ah.
You look like I did after I mistakenly took a swig of Worcestershire sauce. Do you have a problem with the testimony we're hearing from your client, lawyer boy?
Do I have a problem with Iris's testimony?
There's this one thing.
Your Honour, I have a small problem with the witness's testimony.
You do? But this witness is your own client.
Yes, well, nevertheless. That's fine. Witness, let's add to your last statement to the testimony.
Yes, sir.
Hey, just a moment, it's my job to say that.
Listen, Gramps, I won't say it again. Final judgment will be rendered by me. Okay, now, let's continue. I'm calling... a bullshit! Sister Iris, there's something strange about your version of events.
Huh?
Ms. Dunim's throwing her staff away makes no sense at all to me.
But all you can do with a staff is hit someone.
Naturally, you wouldn't know this, Sister Iris, but the victim's staff had a special feature about it. As you can see, it's a sword. If Elise Dunim really wanted to kill Maya Fay, she wouldn't have needed to use a separate dagger. Not when she already had a beautiful blade in her hands already. Well, Sister Iris, what do you have to say?
That was an impressive bit of investigating, Trikes. I never would have thought there was a sword hidden in the staff. But even so, how should I put this? A long sword is unwieldy and thus quite ineffective in close quarters combat. Maybe that's why she chose a dagger over the blade.
Well,
Anyway, the type of weapon she chose to use is what's important. The important thing is she tried to kill Maya Fay. As long as there's nothing strange about that, there's no problem with her testimony.
but there is something strange about the whole testimony.
Well, Mr. Wright, the prosecution has a point.
Very well, Your Honour. The defence will now present evidence to back its argument.
Mr. Rat?
I have here another piece of evidence that shows this testimony can't be trusted. Because Ms. Elise Dunim would never attempt to take the life of Maya Fay. Elise Dunim would never have attacked Maya Fay.
How can you be so sure?
Because the victim's real name is not Elise Dunim. Her real name was Misty Fay.
Fay?
No! Not Misty Fay!
Who's this Misty Fay? Is she related to...
Misty Fey is the master of the Korean channeling technique and is also the mother of Maya Fey.
Are you serious?
Is it really true, Mr. Red? Was these two them actually the great mystic Misty?
There's no doubt about it. Looks like Iris had no idea.
I can hardly believe it.
The idea she would try and kill her only daughter, one she hadn't seen in 17 years. Perhaps the prosecution can offer some explanation as to why she would do such a thing. Ugh.
Order! Order in the court! Upon first hearing the witness's testimony, it seemed natural enough. However, in light of some facts that have just been presented, one, that the victim supposedly threw away a sword during a fight, and two, the people battling to the death were mother and daughter, despite the facts being believable when taken on their own, when taken together, the entire story seems difficult to believe. Listen, there's nothing in this world that's impossible, except for one little thing. Yes, what's this one little impossible thing?
You still don't get it. If you talk about your fucking coffee again. You think maybe my beans are under roasted, but you have no idea, Gramps. Can you get to your point? I heard this witness's confession this morning, just as I'd taken the first sip of my 8th cup of morning coffee. You're going to ruin your health, my friend. Anyway, after hearing this woman's confession, I had a detective who loves to investigate sent to the scene of the crime, and he discovered this little beauty.
Is that the dagger the witness testified to seeing?
Obviously, Your Honor. Did you not notice something else?
Now you mention it, if you look closely there appears to be blood on it.
Where did you find that? I didn't see that when I investigated the crime scene. Did you investigate the pine tree at the crime scene? Huh? The pine tree? This dagger was stuck in the backside of the pine tree. When the last blow was struck, ending the violent battle between the two women, this little baby was thrown in the direction of the back of the pine tree.
Which means the blow on the dagger belongs to the victim, correct?
Ah, were you even listening, old man? I first heard this confession this morning, just as I'd taken the first sip of my 13th cup of morning coffee. You say it was your 8th just a few minutes ago? I didn't have enough time to get the blood analysed on short notice.
In any case, the court accepts the dagger as evidence. Furthermore, I order a blood test be performed on it immediately.
This is my sweetheart. Make sure you treat her right.
Bailiff, get this piece of evidence to the crime lab for testing immediately. Now then, the testimony we just heard has numerous unbelievable aspects to it. However, after having the very dagger the witness spoke of found, I believe we can consider her testimony to be credible.
Cute girls never lie, ever.
In any case, witness, could you please testify again to this court?
About what, Your Honor?
About the incident you saw, the battle between the two women.
Yes, Your Honor.